Chiang Kai-shek is aware of the growing pro-communist sentiment in China. He realizes that it is a threat as great, if not greater, than the aggressive ambitions of the Japanese. For Chiang and for nationalist China, the sands of time are running out. And yet, the nation, her cities, and her people reflect little of the uneasiness, unrest, uncertainty that cast their shadows from within and without. This is the time for Mao Zedong to launch his so-called War of National Liberation. Communist forces have been strengthened by the acquisition of captured Japanese weapons and ammunition, stockpiled in Manchuria and seized with Russian assistance. Mao's strategy is based on a protracted war, a war that will weaken the nationalists as the communists grow stronger.
Enemy advances, we retreat. Enemy camps, we harass. Enemy tires, we attack. Enemy retreats, we pursue.
Time and again, Chiang Kai-shek's stronger, better equipped army units find themselves fighting an elusive, shadowy enemy that melts into the mountains. And in the midst of battle, communist soldiers harangue the nationalists, calling on Chiang's troops, often with great effect, to desert to the communist side. Mao Zedong's self-proclaimed War of National Liberation is a series of battles of annihilation.
Injuring all of a man's 10 fingers is not as effective as chopping off one, and routing 10 enemy divisions is not as effective as annihilating one of them.
Mao's conquest of mainland China begins with his guerrillas gaining control of the rural areas. Then the cities are surrounded and isolated, engulfed and defeated. Mao's blueprint for conquest is succeeding just as planned. All along, Mao woos the intellectuals, the middle force in China, with talk of a coalition government, a united front, a new democracy. But Mao's promises of popular representation only mask the communist leaders' real intentions. Finally, all of mainland China is swallowed up by the so-called liberation movement, and 1/4 of the world's population is brought under communist control. But on Formosa, renamed Taiwan, more than 10 million Chinese remain free. Chiang Kai-shek has escaped and set up a Republic of China government in opposition to the communists. Chiang signs a mutual defense treaty with the United States and vows one day to liberate captive China. In Beiping, on October 1st, 1949, Mao Zedong proclaims the birth of the People's Republic of China. In communist China, with the War of National Liberation won, Mao Zedong reveals to the world that he is no gentle agrarian reformer. In the first 5 years of the People's Republic, at least 800,000 anti-communists by Mao's own admission, are tried and executed. Millions more die from local excesses, from imprisonment, from assignment to so-called labor reform units.
Today, 4,000-year-old China is beginning a new chapter in her troubled modern history. 5 years of Chinese stability is suddenly shattered as into the far eastern bureaus of the world's press pours news of a startling resurgence of the age-old hatred of China and Japan. For 10 years, the man most respected by China and by her enemies has been a 50-year-old ex-mathematics professor, Generalissimo Kai-shek, frail and tired now from the colossal task of making a new nation out of strife-ridden old China. With his wife, a graduate of Wellesley College, always at his side, Kai-shek in a single decade brought China nearer national unity than she had been in 40 centuries. A few months ago, celebrating the silver jubilee of the Chinese Republic, the 400 million people of China made Kai-shek an extraordinary gift. 100 new American-built fighting planes purchased by popular subscription, a practical expression of confidence in the greatest man in China's modern history.